Hello everybody, this is Jolt here from the Token Minorities, and it is time to kick off a new series I've been wanting to do for quite a while now. Basically, the gist of this series is that I'm going to be going through a Nintendo forum website that I've been playing Pokemon on for quite some time, and basically just show you guys some of the stuff that I do on that website, in hopes that maybe one day you'll want to try it out as well. So to start things off, I am just going to briefly go through some of the different forums on this website, and following that I will be going through some actual battle videos of some of my friends on that website. I'll explain more about that a little bit later. So first of all, just going through the forums, we have the community center, which is basically a generic area where people can talk about generic things, whatever their little heart desires. And then there's this Nintendo discussion area, which is split into sub-forums based upon console. Specifically for Pokemon, under the Nintendo 3DS section, we have this Pokemon 3DS section, which I will click on here. And as you can see here, there is a generic Pokemon X and Y discussion, a competitive Pokemon discussion, and then some discussion on future games, as well as a trade center, and then of course random forums below. So then on to another section on here, we have the Members Lounge, which is a pretty awesome place, if I must say so myself. Basically, this is, again, where people can talk about generic things, such as a welcoming platform. So if you do want to make an account on this website, you can just post here and people will welcome you to the website. And then there's general discussion about various genres of video games. Then there's general gaming discussion, which is self-explanatory. Technical discussion, also self-explanatory. And then an Artists and Writers Guild, which basically is people who want to submit different pieces of work that they've made, and they just want to show their friends some of the stuff they do. So that's what happens there. And then my favorite sub-forum on this website is the Clans and Challenges forum, which I will click on here, and then open up the Clans and Groups section. And I'll go ahead and open up my clans page. So basically what a clan is on this website is a group of Pokemon battlers that will compete with each other as a team against another clan in what we call clan wars. Now what a clan war is, specifically, is 5 battlers from each clan battling each other, and best 3 wins out of 5 attempts wins the war. And the point of, or I guess the reward in winning the war, is that your clan will improve in ranking on the website. And I'll show you guys the ranking page here in just a second. But as you can see, my clan, which is F.E.A.R, which stands for Focus, Endeavor, Attack, Return, an old Rattata moveset back in Gen 4, and probably is still used by some daring souls nowadays. It can mean something else as well, as Panda is saying behind me. But as you can see, my clan is 3-0-0, meaning we have 3 wins. We have defeated 3 clans, and I'll be, throughout this series, showing you our clan wars and how we came upon those wins. So that's pretty cool. But some of these names might seem a little bit familiar to you guys, as many of these people were in some of the Token Minorities tournaments. So yeah, we have a pretty solid group of players here. But yeah, so now we're going to show you guys the top 5 clans thread. I'm going to take a little bit of a shortcut to get here since I do hang out on this forum frequently. So yeah, here we go. Here's the list of the top 5 clans on NintendoPlus.com. That includes Team Knockout, Omega Society, My Clan, F.E.A.R, Alpha Society, and the Unholy Saints. There are maybe 3 or 4 other clans that are not currently on this list, but all clans are respectable on this website and fun to play against. So yeah, that's kind of the background of this website. If any of this looks interesting to you, definitely come check it out. If you want any more information from me about it, feel free to ask. I'm actually part of the staff on this website. I'm a writer, so I do get all the inside info. So just let me know if you want to hear anything, and I'll see what I can do. So let's go ahead and move on to the secondary purpose of this video, and that is to show you a few battles from our first war as a clan. So this was F.E.A.R against Alpha Society. At the time, F.E.A.R was not ranked on the website because we did just form the clan. So yeah, we were unranked. Alpha Society was number 5 on the website, so we had to win 3 out of 5 matches in the clan war in order to claim number 5 on the website. So the first match I'll be showing is my friend Hallucination, which is the guy in my clan, against Alpha Society's arguably best battler, PTZ. So I actually haven't watched this video myself, at least for quite a while, so this narration might be a little bit choppy, but let's go ahead and dive right in before I click resume. A brief team preview, I suppose. Hallucination is bringing his standard team, so I do know his team very well. He runs a defensive Rotom Wash, a defensive Landorus T, and then a defensive Mega Venusaur as a very solid defensive core. And then he has the support Bisharp with Pursuit, and he has a Specs Keldeo and your standard Life Orb Latios. And then looking at PTZ's team, I have faced this team as well, and I know that he has a standard DD Charizard X. He has an Excadrill, which I believe is Choice, no, it's on Air Balloon, I believe. And then a Thundurus, Diggersby with Swords Dance, Latias, and likely a Belly Jet Azumarill. So let's go ahead and dive into the battle and see what happens. Hallucination leads off with his Rotom Wash as expected, as it is a great matchup against pretty much the entirety of PTZ's team, barring Latias. He predicts the switch into Latias, or no, he doesn't predict the switch, he just goes into Venusaur, hoping to get a chance to Mega Evolve early in the game, but instead he has to pull the double out into Rotom Wash to not get hit in the face by Zard X's Dragon Claw. He goes into Landorus T, as that's a very nice check to Zard X, and sets up his Stealth Rocks on the following switch out. And then he goes into his Venusaur here, probably expecting the Hidden Power Ice, but knowing that because Mega Venusaur is so bulky, it will be able to take it, Mega Evolve, and then take the following one as well. So that was a good play on his part, and here he decides to just go ahead and set up his Leech Seed to put PTZ in an awkward position. He does expect to switch out into something like Latias, so he does go for the second Leech Seed there just to get that continuous health support from the Leech Seed. However, PTZ does expect the switch into Bisharp by Hallucination. He goes for the Hidden Power Fighting on the switch and puts Hallucination down in an early 6-5 deficit. However, with the Leech Seed on Latias, it is not that big of a deficit. Latias does go for the Draco Meteor here, and this reveals that Rotom Wash actually is specially defensive, so I was mistaken early in the team preview, because it is able to live that Draco Meteor with ease and go for that rest to get all of its health back. Here Latias decides to sacrifice itself through Healing Wish to bring back the Zard X to full health, which actually is a play I do not agree with, because Hallucination still has a Landorus T at full health, and in order for Zard X to be able to put in a sweep, Landorus T would have to be weakened to, as you can see, below 75%. Here he brings into his Thundurus again, and Hallucination easily can just click Rotom Wash to bring him in and take that special hit, as it is a special wall. Unfortunately, he does miss that Will-O-Wisp, which puts him in a kind of awkward situation. However, he is going to just switch right out, expecting the secondary Psychic or Thunderbolt, and just go into Latios. Unfortunately, his Latios is paralyzed by the priority Thunder Wave, and then fully paralyzed directly after, which is again a very awkward situation. However, here he knows that PTZ likely is going to try to set up a Swords Dance with his Diggersby, knowing that a Swords Dance at this point in the game would be enough to sweep the entirety of Hallucination's team. He is smart in that regard and does not let that happen without giving Diggersby a good chunk of damage, therefore becoming much less of a threat. Here, PTZ goes into his Excadrill and just starts spamming Iron Head. However, Hallucination does have Landorus T with that Intimidate, which is able to tank the hit from the Excadrill and KO it with Earthquake. And now it's just cleanup work from here on, as Landorus T is able to just come in on Azumarill and intimidate it. And Azumarill is just going to go for that knockoff. I'm assuming this is because he switched moves in Assault Vest Azumarill. So that's actually not nearly as big of a threat as the other times could have been. So, that was the game, and that puts F.E.A.R at a 1-0 advantage. Now keep in mind, I'm not going to be showing all 5 matches from this war, as that would make the video exceptionally long, and I don't want to bore you guys that badly. So I'll be showing only the victories from our wars, unless there was a really, really close loss or something along those lines, but we'll talk about that in the future. But at this point, F.E.A.R had lost one more game, so the war is tied at 1-1. And then Game 3 was also a loss by F.E.A.R, so we were actually losing the war 1-2, so we needed to win our next 2 matches in order to pull off the win in this war. So, who's left to battle in this war? Well, our buddy Styx and me. So, Can Styx and I win our next 2 matches in order to win the war? Let's find out. Styx's account is Scout or Suck, because we did have an interesting situation with Team Scouting in this war, so that's the reasoning behind the nickname. And Styx's opponent, LJ, I believe it's like LJC and then some odd number, has the Showdown account of Echo Smith. So let's go ahead and dive in after a brief team preview. Styx is using a Sand offense team, it appears, with likely, I guess, Mega Pincer, definitely Mega Pincer, and then likely a, the rock that makes the sand last a long time. Can't think of the name at the moment. But then likely a Sand Rush, Excadrill, Clefable, undoubtedly with Magic Guard, Rotom, and most likely a Choice Scarf Garchomp, while Eco Smith or LJC has Mega Mawile, because at the time Mega Mawile was not banned, and then likely a Choice Banded Dragonite, Specsor Scarf, Keldeo, Scarf or Band Garchomp, Bisharp, and probably your standard Landorus T. Very hyper offensive team, so it's hyper offense versus hyper offense. Let's just dive right into it. Echo Smith leads off with his Keldeo, while Styx leads off with Garchomp, and revealing the Stealth Rock, this tells me that the Garchomp was a Focus Sashed variant, therefore the Stealth Rocks were guaranteed to get up, and it looks like Eco Smith does not have Defog on his team, so those rocks are there to stay. Styx goes into his Rotom here to scare out the Keldeo, which is great, and he predicts the switch into Bisharp or something along those lines. Pegs him with a Will-O-Wisp, which is huge because Bisharp appears to have been able to put in a lot of work against Styx's team, so having Bisharp neutered like that is definitely going to come in handy later on. Here Styx decides to switch into his Clefable to take the Iron Head, knowing that because Bisharp is burned, it is not at all going to have a chance of KOing Clefable, and he's able to get off a free Calm Mind, which is very nice considering Eco Smith really doesn't want to deal with Clefable aside from bringing in Mega Mawile. Now this is actually okay because Styx knows that his Mega Pinsir can come in and get off a ton of damage with the Earthquake, and I believe it's a guaranteed chance, barring a critical hit, to live the following play rough, so he's able to neuter the Mega Mawile in that sense. Now we have a situation where Styx decides to bring in his Tyranitar, probably looking to set up the sweep with Excadrill, knowing that, oh, there's the Outrage, and is going to take about 45% from the Garchomp. I believe this is undoubtedly a Choice Scarf Garchomp. But regardless, because of Sand Rush, Excadrill is going to be able to outspeed and KO it. Here he decides to go into his Landorus, knowing that he can live the Iron Head with relative ease, set up a Rock Polish, and go for the Earth Power. Now that puts Styx in a difficult situation, however, because Pinsir is at 4% and Sand is no longer on the field, he is able to get fire off that Quick Attack without sacrificing his Pinsir, and that's just dandy for Styx over here. So it's a very tight match, however, he is at a deficit, and remember, if he does lose this match, F.E.A.R loses the war, so this is very, very tight. Luckily, Tyranitar is able to survive the Sucker Punch, go for the Pursuit, and knock out the Mawile, and that is huge, because now all Eco Smith has left is Dragonite and Keldeo, neither of which can take a hit from Pinsir at this range, so Styx is able to just go for the Quick Attack and take out the Keldeo, and Dragonite will go down to the Stealth Rock. That's dead Keldeo and dead Dragonite. So Styx was able to pull off that win, and that ties the war at 2-2. So now it comes down to your favorite battler of the channel, Jolt, to bring home the win. So here we go. My account is DMyEscape, and my opponent's account on NintendoPlus.com was Eric17. He is using the Showdown alias of 99%. So, as you can see, he is using a very threatening rain team. I am terrified of it, and I'm not going to lie, as soon as I saw it. However, I am bringing my best team, and I know exactly how to handle rain teams, so basically the goal is to not screw this up. So looking at his team, I know immediately I have to burn Ferrothorn in order to have a good chance of winning, because with the all likelihood that rain will always be on the field, my Heatran is going to be rendered essentially useless, with the exception of getting up my Stealth Rocks. So that's the first thing. Then of course my second thing to be paying attention to is the fact that Mega Gyarados is all but guaranteed to be on his side of the field, and my team is terrified of Mega Gyarados. So basically, I need to be super careful not to let the Gyarados get off a free Dragon Dance, because if it gets off a free Dragon Dance without taking any damage, I lose. So let's go ahead and dive right in. I lead off with my Rotom Wash, knowing that it's a very nice matchup against anything it has on its team, and I am expecting either Ferrothorn or Politoed to lead off, and I find this as my best opportunity to go for the Will-O-Wisp and neuter the Ferrothorn just enough to the point where it is manageable for my team. Here he goes for knockoff, which is great because I did go into my Mega Scizor, which is not yet Mega Evolved, as you can see, but it's all good because I am able to just Mega Evolve and get rid of those rocks with the Defog. And because I know how valuable Mega Scizor is going to be in this game, I do just switch him out here and go into Sylveon, as it's a very, very safe switch into Politoed. And yeah, so that's pretty cool. Here I decided to burn off another turn of sleep, even though the switch into Excadrill was very obvious. And I know my Scizor is an easy switch into Excadrill pretty much any day of the week. So here I am expecting to switch into Gyarados, and I'm not going to let him have that free chance to set up a Dragon Dance, so I do just go for the U-turn right away into my Rotom, knowing that my defensive Rotom cannot be KO'd by a Mold Breaker Earthquake unless he has a +1 boost. So another fun little Volt Switch happens there, and I just go into my Scizor to get all my health back, knowing that I do need pretty much full health on this Scizor, or at least close to it, to be able to sufficiently wall the Excadrill. Here I do predict to switch into something, or into Politoed, I guess, and go into my Rotom, and get off the free Volt Switch just for a little bit of chip damage, knowing that this is a Damp Rock Politoed. It likely does not have any form of recovery, barring maybe Rest, but that really is pretty rare. Here, I know that I'm going to wake up on this turn because I believe I had already had 3 turns of sleep, and I know that he's no doubt going to want to go for that Dragon Dance, so I have to put Sylveon in danger's path and just go for the Hyper Voice to get that damage off, because I cannot let him have that free damage. So here I have to make a couple, I guess, kind of annoying switches. I'm going to pause here. Basically, the sequence of events that happened there was that I had to predict around his 50-50s in order to, 1, get his attack stat down to neutral, and 2, not lose my Rotom or my Landorus, knowing that both are of utmost importance in this matchup. So basically what I did, as you can see, or as you saw relatively quickly, predicting the Waterfall, I went to my Rotom to sponge it, and then predicting the obvious Earthquake, I do go straight into my Landorus T, knowing that I am Choice Scarf, I'm going to outspeed a +1 Gyarados, and yeah, and it was safe expecting eventually. So that's what happened there. I go for the Superpower and take out the Gyarados. Anyway, let's continue. I do lose, of course, some stats after going for the Superpower, but it is all worth it because the biggest threat is down. Here I'm expecting Stone Edge or Waterfall. Either case, Rotom is able to take it. Not really well by any means, but it's okay because the best switch in he has to Rotom is the Ferrothorn, and quite frankly, that's not much of a threat at this point. So here I just go for the U-turn again just to get more damage on the Ferrothorn, knowing that he is burned, and any chip damage I can get on it is good chip damage because he just keeps getting closer and closer to going down. And here I get him to a point where I feel confident that Hydro Pump has a high enough chance to KO that I will just go for it, hoping I don't miss, and luckily I did not miss. So here he goes into his Politoed, and I decide that my best play is to burn it so that it does limit its survivability. And luckily for me, he does miss the Hypnosis, and he also misses the following Hypnosis, although that one really didn't matter that much in the end. But I'm not going to complain about it either, because now I have a secondary option to take out the Kabutops, because Sylveon actually is EV'd specifically to take a Waterfall from Kabutops in the rain 100% of the time. I found that out during this battle, and I was very, very happy.
So it's not EV'd specifically for that.
It is. No, it definitely is. Because, like, when I did the calc, it was, like, 99.7 max. It was really awesome.
That's huge.
I know, right?
Nicely done.
Yeah. So yeah, here he goes into his Tornadus T, and I am just going to sacrifice Rotom because he has put in all the work he's going to put in this match. Here, I go into Sylveon simply to stall out a turn of Rain so that Hurricane is no longer perfect accuracy. Plus, Sylveon is useless at this point in the game, unfortunately. And I do feel like I have the game wrapped up as long as I don't get hacked. So, here we go. Here comes the moment of truth. I go into my Scarf Landorus T, go for the Stone Edge, and luckily it hits and knocks out the Tornadus T, and all he has left is this Choice Scarf Excadrill, and Choice Scarf Excadrill is not going to be taking out what's remaining on my team. I believe it's Choice Scarf. Regardless, it is not going to take out what I have left, especially because I have Scizor at 75%, Mega Scizor that is. I have a Choice Scarf Landorus T, which is easily able to switch right in, not give any cares, and take the Excadrill right out. So, that was the game. That was a very fun game, a very scary game, but luckily Hax was on my side, or rather was not against me. So, F.E.A.R did win the war, 3-2. So yeah, at that point we were number 5 on the website. So, after this very long video, that will conclude part 1 of my tour of NintendoPlus.com. I hope you enjoyed, and please do leave a comment if you did.